Name?
I am Dustin Hoffmann.
Pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Ambassador. Right. 2024 Iowa State Fair. Right now we have the pleasure of being joined by Ukrainian Ambassador to the United States, Oksana Markarova.
That's correct.
All right.
Excellent.
I'm working on this here. So thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to talk with us here, and I hope you're enjoying your trip through Iowa right now.
Very much. Actually, I have to thank you and everyone who invited me and everyone who accepted me here because I feel home.
Well, that's good to hear. We always pride ourselves on being polite like that. And so you're here to meet with a lot of different organizations, a lot of different civic organizations. Tell us a little bit about why you're coming here, what kind of meetings, what kind of messages you're bringing to the people here in Iowa.
Well, first of all, I would like to say thank you to all Americans and especially Iowans for all the support we have received since the beginning of this horrible war. Whether it's, flags outside of the houses or the bridges lit in our colors, or the governor's support, or your senators and congressmen's support, or just, ordinary people supporting us in this. But also I want to remind that Iowa is actually the first state that ever had a partnership agreement with one of the regions in Ukraine. As early as 1996, Iowa partnered with Cherkasy Oblast. So just 5 years after we regained independence. So we're very much alike, frankly, Ukraine and Iowa.
That's always good to hear. And so obviously we know about everything that's been going on there for the last couple of years. I mean, what do the average Iowa people need to really understand? We hear things all the time, different sides. You can ask different people for different opinions on it.
Yes.
What do we really need to know from your perspective of what's going on back in Ukraine?
Well, I think Iowans can understand this more than anyone, and anyone in farming community would understand. I mean, Ukraine is a peaceful country. We were never a threat to anyone. You can take a look at the map. We could never be a threat to Russia, which is so much bigger. All we wanted to do is just to be free, independent, live in our own country, elect our government, change it on a regular basis, and just grow food and raise children. They attacked us in 2014 without any provocation, and they reinvaded us in 2022 after we tried to use any diplomatic solution to resolve this. And now it's just a full-fledged war where they came to our homes, to our land, and they're trying to kill us, torture us, and take our houses and our land away. And we're doing what any American would do. We're defending what we love, our loved ones, our homes, our freedom, and frankly, our democracy. Because if Putin can do it to us, with the help of North Korea and Iran, the enemies of the free world, then nobody is safe. So you see now for 901 days, Ukrainians, even though it's difficult, do not give up, do not surrender. We'll defend it with everything we have. And we can do it because Americans are standing with us, and Europeans, and Japanese, and Great Britain, and so many other countries who believe in the same values. So this is what it is about. There is no different sides to it. There is an aggressor and us who defending ourselves, and we really appreciate the help, and we just need to stay the course. And now with new counteroffensives, with successful operations which we do, we can win, and we can win it together.
And what's really interesting is right after the war had started, maybe 2 weeks after, we had the chance to talk to a farmer in Ukraine to talk about what just the farmers were doing. And you don't think about that. You think about the military, you think about the governments, the farmers going and plowing up the land so it would make it difficult for them to move the armies around, to take all the diesel and fuels that they had on their farms and get it to the army so that way it didn't fall into hands. But yeah, you still heard things about the Russian army stealing the grain out of the bins and the elevators. And taking that, because that's what you guys need to survive. It's what you guys use to export, because agriculture, just like in Iowa, is a big part of your economy. And being able to ship that across the Black Sea, it's huge.
Absolutely. No, our farmers are heroes. And the reason why we are fighting so successfully during this difficult 2 years is because it's not just the armed forces, it's everyone. And farmers are not only planting and harvesting in a very difficult circumstances, with their fields being mined and with the unexploded ordnance, and without sometimes access to anything pretty much, but they're trying to sustain the effort and take care of the animals and the fields. But they also do everything possible to defend their homes. I mean, it's all country operation. And we really appreciate, again, this help, because this is where we can do a lot together. I mean, if you look at what we produce and what we export, it's interesting because our farmers and farmers of Iowa do not compete. We actually complement each other. So we can do a lot together. And Ukraine also is known for our innovations and digital industry and high tech, but also fertilizers and everything. So if we join forces together, we can not only win this war, but we can win the peace, and we can become so much stronger and help each other, make each other stronger, because the world is not becoming a safer place. I mean, unfortunately, dictators everywhere are trying to challenge us, and we can stay together, and we can be, stronger together, and nice people. And that's who I see here everywhere. Very nice people, which reminds me again about home. We should be strong. We should help each other. That's what farmers do.
Right, exactly. Help one another when they need help.
Exactly.
And so as we look at, 2 years down the road and almost 3 years down the road as it's coming now, I mean, what's the message that you can bring to these people that can help you guys get across the finish line? What kind of things are you trying to ask for or trying to get help on to make sure this can be brought to a successful conclusion where you can be happy and obviously have this over with?
We have to be brave, and we have to be strong, and we have to believe in ourselves and believe in God. I mean, we were able to achieve it because we do not have any other choice, because Ukrainians would not live under occupation, because freedom is such an ultimate, value for us that we would not give it up. But then listen to your anthem, brave and free. This is exactly what this country is built on. And, this is time to double down with all the successes that we had in the past. We liberated 50% of the territories that Russia took at the beginning. We liberated the Black Sea. We are conducting a very successful operation now on the Russian territory. We can win this, even if they're much bigger, even if they don't have any moral values or red lines, because if we stay the course, as military people say, and if we double down now, there is nothing they can actually do, and they will do what they did in 2022. They will retreat.
And last question I have for you, obviously the fighting goes on, but yet the people there who are resisting are still having to live their day-to-day lives. The kids need to go to school, the people need to eat, business goes on in a way. How are you able to keep the people still going and living that day-to-day life while still worrying about what's going on and being able to fight back? How do you merge that and to be successful?
Well, again, this is our home, and it's now on fire, and we have to do everything possible, not just to help the brave defenders on the front line, but live our lives. So it's very difficult. I mean, the kids have to go to the bomb shelter sometimes 3-5 times a day or a night. The schools sometimes work, and sometimes it's all online. We are behind the vaccination schedules. The healthcare is a challenge. Everything is a challenge, but this is our home. So we have to, we are coming together, helping each other. Again, it's a very much community organized event, in small cities or big cities, with our mayors staying with people, with our teachers, with sometimes women, some women go to work, some women take care of kids, of themselves and their neighbors. But look, if you look in the US, thanks God it's peace here, and we only wish peace to our friends. But when there is a natural disaster, you see that kind of resilience here too. You see people coming together and helping each other. And it's difficult because it's too long, but we are trying to, keep it up. And that, because also we don't have any other home. This is our home, and we just have to stay strong, help each other, and hopefully with the support of our American friends, we will be able to get to lasting and just peace, and then get into rebuilding of Ukraine. And this is going to be a very inspiring project that we can do together. And Ukraine can become an answer to so many challenges that we all have in energy, in IT, in AI, where we can help each other and really focus on real challenges and how to become stronger and more resilient.
Well, Ambassador, I know you've got a very busy schedule while you're here in Iowa, and we thank you for taking the time to visit with us.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me here. I really enjoyed it.